Good day, subscribers! Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy, this is a financial education channel, and today I'm doing a video that was requested by quite a few of you guys in the past where I basically show you my favorite website that I look into stocks and those kinds of things. And today it is Yahoo Finance. That's my favorite website I've been going to since the ancient times when Jeremy was just starting to learn about investing. And I still go to that website nowadays. It's my go-to website if I'm first looking into a company, trying to judge a thesis on should I go into looking into this company more and more. So I'm going to share with you guys everything on Yahoo Finance, each page and what it means, each tab, so you know when you go to use Yahoo Finance in the future to look up a stock or whatever, you know what all these tabs mean. So I hope this video will be tremendously helpful to you guys. If it is, go ahead and give it a thumbs up at the end of the video, and if you want to leave me a comment, if you have any questions on this video or you just enjoyed it, leave me a comment in the comment section. Thank you guys, and let's get straight into this right away. The first page up there, that is the page you're greeted with at the beginning of the Yahoo Finance. So finance.yahoo.com, that's like the opening page you're greeted with. They're going to show like the most recent news, the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, how they finished that day. And then at the top in the search bar, you can hit in a stock name. So like you could hit Apple or something. Or in this case, I hit J&J, which is a ticker symbol for Johnson & Johnson. I could have typed in Johnson & Johnson, but I know the ticker symbol is J&J. So you go ahead and hit that search bar. Then the page that pops up here, you're going to see this is the main page for Johnson & Johnson, J&J. And you're going to see there's a ton of tabs down the left-hand row. Now these tabs are summary, which we're on the summary page here. Then you have order book, options, historical prices. Below that, then you have interactive in the chart section. Below that, you have headlines, press releases, company events, message boards, market pulse. Below that, you have profile, key statistics, SEC filings, competitors, industries, components. Below that, you have analyst opinion, analyst estimates. Below that, you have major holders, insider transactions, insider roster. And the last bars down there is income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. So all on that left-hand side, you have all the tabs you might want to hit. And we're going to go through each of those tabs in the course of this video. So first, on the summary page, you're going to be able to basically do exactly what it is. It's a summary, a snapshot of everything in the company. So you're looking at things like market cap there, the PE, the EPS, the dividend yield, where it's been in the last 52-week range, the days range where the stock was, what the bid and ask were, the one-year target. You're going to have things like comparisons against other companies that are in the same industry, key statistics. You see the whole bottom line there is about headlines. Recent videos is right in the middle of the page. You see a lady there in a white dress, it looks like, talking about healthcare earnings on parade, that you can watch recent videos that have to do with J&J that were actually talked about. So that whole first summary page is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's a summary page for that stock. So let's go ahead and start digging into this. The next page up is order book. So order book, it's basically only relevant in the actual trading day, and it's just to talk about, or not to talk about, it's to show you what the bid and ask are at that given moment. Next tab down are options. Now before I go any further in this video, I just want to tell you guys the tabs I go to the most. I'm going to explain every single one, but the tabs I go to the most are summary, options, I go to profile, I go to analyst estimates, I go to major holders, I go to insider transactions, I go to income statement, I go to balance sheet. Those are the tabs I pretty much always use. These other tabs I don't hardly ever use that we're going to go through today, you know, because I'm going through them all. But I still know what they are. I'm still going to explain them to you. But just so you guys know, those are my 7 or 8 tabs that I actually use on this Yahoo Finance. So now we're in the options section. This is definitely one of the tabs I use. And this shows all the calls and all the puts for whatever strike price you want to look at. I'm an options trader. I trade options, so this page is relevant to me now. Years ago, when I didn't trade options, this page was irrelevant. I never clicked on options. So options, you can see calls, strikes, calls and puts there. And if you want to change the date, because you see underneath the stock price and whatnot, you can see October 28th, 2016. So those are options that expire October 28th, 2016. If you want to switch that date to something in 2017, to something in 2018, you could do that and look at those dates if you wanted to. So that is the options page there. Next page up, we have historical prices. You can look at any historical price as long as that stock has been a public company, basically, as long as it was within, or I think the limit on it is 1970. 1970, I believe, is the limit as far back as you can go in Yahoo Finance. So you can look at the stock price so long ago if you want to in a stock. You can also look at dividends that were paid a long time ago, or ones that are paid in the past. I do that a lot. Sometimes I just click the dividends only tab, which is the fourth one down there, and it just shows me dividends. So that is a very relevant piece of information there. Next page up is an interactive chart. You can choose whatever amount you want to go back. Because you can do a max, which is all the way to the far right if you click max. There's also a 10-year, 5-year, 2-year, 1 year. You can look at year to date. You can look at 6 months. You can look at 3 months, 1 month, 5 day. And what we're clicked on right here, this is the 1-day chart. This is just for whatever it was trading at on Friday for the course of that day. That's a 1-day chart we're looking at here. Next page up, now we're looking at headlines. Headlines are anything that has to do with the company. So it doesn't have to be necessarily something that the company said or put out there. It can be something that an article written by a website, an article written by this person or that person, or something that has to do something with J&J that somehow they got incorporated into that. Anything like that is a headline. And so anything that J&J is involved with or somehow involved with, those will show up under the headline tab. Next page up is press releases. This is strictly information that is from Johnson & Johnson, J&J. This is strictly things that they put out there. Personally, it's press releases, so a lot of quarterly statements, when they're going to announce numbers, what numbers they do announce, things like that. That will show up under the press releases tab. Next up, we have company events. Company or events, or things like earnings dates and all those kinds of things, those will show up under this tab. There's no upcoming events right now under this one. It only has recent events, no upcoming events, so they must not announce when they're going to announce their numbers yet. Next tab up, we have the message board. Message board, I used to go to the message board back in the day, and then it got filled with spam, and it's just a crap experience, which is why hardly anybody even uses message board anymore. Look at this. This is J&J we're talking about, a huge corporation. Look at the last time somebody even posted something. It was September 30th. There are millions of people that are invested in J&J, and no one cares to even comment on that message board because it is so filled with crap. It is so filled with crap. So much spam, and so many short sellers sometimes go on a stock and they just bash it and they just talk crazy and cuss you out if you're long, and just, it's nasty. And that's why no one uses message board anymore. It's just an ugly place. And this proves it. It's what's today, October 22nd? There hasn't been one post since September 30th. That's over 3 weeks it's been since somebody even posted on one of the biggest companies in the entire world. You know, so take it for what it is. That's the message board there if you ever want to actually look at it. Next page up, it's the market pulse. So this only shows like certain websites if they publish something. It's basically what Yahoo wants. It's a very irrelevant page in my opinion. It's probably one of the last pages I would ever go to. Next page up is profile. This is very important. This is a page I do use. This shows you or talks exactly about what that company does for business. So if you have no clue what Johnson & Johnson does, it should explain it pretty well in that little profile section there. It should tell you a little bit about what other companies are in charge of, what other companies they own, what type of products they have, those kinds of things. Key statistics is the next page. This has a ton of relevant information to you. In basically a one-page format, you see market cap there, enterprise value, trailing PE. You just see a ton of great information here, from revenue, quarterly revenue, so much different stuff. You look even at the very bottom on the right-hand side, you see things like when their dividend date is, when their ex-dividend date is, their payout ratio for the dividends. You see so much great information on this key statistics page, so that may be one you guys want to check out, especially when you're learning. Next page up, we have SEC filings. This is when the company actually files something with the SEC, so mainly like quarterly reports, annual reports, or when a major shareholder either sells position, adds to position, they file an SEC report. Those show up here. I recommend you don't really use this much. I recommend you actually going to the investor relations page on whatever company you're looking for. So if you're looking for Johnson & Johnson's quarterly statement or annual report or something, I recommend you going to Johnson & Johnson Investor Relations or whatever company investor relations page to get that information. Next one up, we have competitors. So this just shows a quick snapshot of against a few competitors, what their biggest competitors' market caps are, what their employees are. So you can kind of gauge, okay, you see the J&J is the first one all the way in the left-hand column. Next to it's Colgate-Palmolive. So you can see, okay, what's the market cap of J&J versus Colgate-Palmolive? How many employees do they have? The quarterly revenue growth, all that kind of stuff. Revenue, all those types of tabs. So you can just kind of gauge it against the competitors right there if you really want. And then they have a private company next over. And then they have PFE, which is Pfizer, right next to that. So you can just kind of direct compare it if you want. Next page up is the industry. This is another tab I pretty much hardly ever use. It just shows the industry they're in. They're J&J's and mainly drug manufacturer. They do other things like Band-Aids and stuff like that, but they're mainly a drug manufacturer, so this shows you what industry they're in. Also news of other stocks that are in that industry. Next page up are components. These are like the indexes and things that J&J partakes in. So if you look toward the middle of the section there, you see DJI, that's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. J&J is one of the biggest companies in the world. They're in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You see a lot of different ones there. Next page up, we have analyst opinion. This is how bullish or bearish the analysts are. So 2.4, that's kind of toward like more of a hold. A hold would be a 3, so which means don't sell it if you own it, don't buy it if you don't own it at that time. So they're a little more bullish than bearish. A 1 would be a strong buy. A 5 would be a sell. So like I said, mean ratio this week is a 2.4. And then we have target prices under that, and below that we have what analysts have said recently. The last time an analyst spoke out on J&J from Yahoo Finance, at least what it looks like, is May 20th, 2016, someone initiated a sell, Standpoint Research, whoever that is, some type of analyst agency. Next page up, we have analyst estimates. I look at this all the time for the companies I own and try to gauge if they're going to be able to beat analyst estimates. You see all the way on the left, you have current quarter, September 16, so that's what analysts expect the company to earn, average estimate of $1.65. Next over, you have December 2016. They have $1.58 for what analysts expect them to earn. The next one is the current year, what they expect them to earn. And the next over is the next year, what they expect the company to earn for earnings next year. And then you go all the way down, they have revenue estimates, earnings history, EPS trends, EPS revisions, growth estimates, all this type of stuff. This is great stuff to look at, guys. I highly recommend looking at this page, especially not necessarily because we're short-term traders or we want to focus on short-term, but sometimes you might want to go maybe say a little heavier in a stock if you see that the earnings will be very easy to beat, if you're the type of person that can gauge that kind of stuff. Or if you see, man, earnings are going to be like impossible to hit, you might want to stay away from that stock for a little bit and then jump in after those earnings come out. Maybe, maybe not. It's something you should definitely look at, in my opinion. Next page up, they show major holders for that stock. So individual holders, if they hold a ton of shares, they'll show their names up there. Top institutions, so we see Vanguard is the biggest shareholder at almost 7% of the shares. Vanguard holds 6.71% to be exact. And then you got top mutual fund holders. The top mutual fund is the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. They hold almost 2%, 1.99. So that's a great page to look at, major holders of stocks. Insider transactions, very important to look at, in my opinion. You can see exactly what shareholders have been selling, which ones have been buying, if there's any that have been buying, things like that. So you can see the last time there was a transaction on the insider, it was July 26th. Dominic Caruso, he sold 41,000 shares at a price of $125 each share. So he sold over $5 million worth of shares. So this is kind of a good thing to look at. Are the insiders, are they buying? Are they selling? What are they doing? So I always look at this, it's interesting. You know, it's interesting. Sometimes you can judge a stock based upon what insiders are doing. So if insiders are all selling out, that might not be a good sign. If insiders are buying stock like crazy, sometimes that's a very good sign. Something to keep an eye on. Insider roster basically just shows the top officers and directors and those kinds of things in the company and how many shares they own, what their most recent transaction was. So a little bit similar to the last page we looked at. Next page up, we have the income statement. Shows the last 3 years, so 2013, 2014, and then 2000, well, it should be kind of 2015, but it goes to 2016, just because you see they went and ended the year in January 3rd, 2016 for whatever reason, instead of December 28th or December 31st like all the other years. So it sounds like they had a few extra days in there. Who knows why they did that, but bottom line, it's the last 3 years of income statement. If you guys need to know more about income statement, reading an income statement, watch the video I posted on how to read an income statement. It will help you guys immensely. Balance sheet. I also did a video on balance sheet, so if you need help balance sheet reading, watch the video on how to read a balance sheet. It's a pretty popular video. It's one of the most popular on this channel. I would say probably top 10. So that will help you immensely if you need help understanding a balance sheet. But like the income statement, they show the last 3 years of the balance sheet. And last page up is the cash flow. Last 3 years they show of the cash flow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Yahoo Finance. That is my favorite website. It's maybe beginning to get a little dated, but it's still the best from what I've seen as far as what I need for information out of a website. So I've been using this, like I said, since I started investing in 2008, 2009, and I'm still using it today. It's not perfect, but it's the best I've found so far. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a thumbs up, comment if you have questions on anything. And also, if you guys are interested in me breaking down what my favorite app is to use, I can show you guys what my favorite app is to use and kind of explain why that's my favorite app as far as the stock market goes. If you're interested in that, leave a comment. If not, no big deal. I won't bother doing a video about it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed, you may want to. I talk a ton about personal finance, talk about business, and I talk about the stock market a ton on this channel. Thank you, guys, and have a great day.